take the already legendary Mercedes-Benz G-Class, injected with pure, unfiltered adrenaline, and well, you get this, the 2025 BRABUS 800 edition. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to completely break down a machine that essentially changes the entire conversation in the crowded world of high-performance luxury. It's an absolute towering feat of engineering, and we're going to dive right into exactly how they pulled it off.
Right out of the gate, we have to understand that this thing is an unapologetically bold disruptor. As the ethos goes, this isn't just a tuned G-Wagon, it's a statement on wheels. In a market totally saturated with luxury SUVs, very few actually have this level of, real tangible character. It's not just some upgraded G63. It is a profound, incredibly loud statement about power, presence, and pure exclusivity.
So, let's move into our first section, the aesthetic evolution, and how BRABUS goes about redefining the G-Class's stance.
Okay, the physical transformation really kicks off with the BRABUS Widestar body kit, which is a massive focal point here. Look, the standard G63 is already pretty muscular, right? But the Widestar kit pushes it into an entirely different dimension. It dramatically widens the fenders, fundamentally shifting the posture into something incredibly planted, deeply purposeful, and honestly, almost a little dangerous. They sharpen up that front fascia, and the massive grille alongside those aggressive air intakes gives it a road presence that absolutely commands respect. And to really anchor that dominant stance, they use these massive, forged wheels that just flawlessly fill out those newly widened arches. But it's not simply about throwing big wheels on it. BRABUS pairs them with a highly specialized, sporty, lowered suspension setup. They drop the stance just enough, down to the millimeter practically, to create that unmistakable BRABUS posture. It's this incredibly delicate balance that makes the proportions look bold from quite literally any angle.
Moving on to Section 2, Carbon Fiber Identity, sculpted for extreme performance.
Now, we really need to emphasize the carbon fiber on this build, because these aren't just minor cosmetic tweaks tacked on as an afterthought. The meticulous, exposed carbon detailing is entirely integral to the vehicle's DNA. From the hood attachments down to the mirror caps, the aggressive front spoiler, the roof elements, and that massive rear diffuser, it all visually strips away weight while adding this raw race-inspired edge. Because of how extensively they've integrated the carbon, the whole package manages to look incredibly fast and aerodynamic, even when it's just sitting perfectly still in a driveway. And all of that meticulous carbon work brilliantly illustrates the final visual effect, a true concept car appearance. Think about seeing this out in the wild. When the light hits those expansive, flawless carbon fiber surfaces just right, it creates this futuristic, dramatic flare. Combine that reflection with the signature LED lighting of the new facelifted G-Class platform, and suddenly every single detail feels deliberate. Every line feels engineered to amplify the raw emotion of the car.
All right, Section 3, the kinetic arc. It is time to unleash the beast under the hood.
800. That right there is the magic number. Beneath all that beautiful, lightweight carbon fiber is a handcrafted 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine. BRABUS engineers completely went to work on this power plant, pushing it to churn out an absolutely staggering 800 horsepower. That specific level of power is what officially graduates the G-Class from a traditional high-end SUV into a relentless, bona fide super SUV.
But horsepower is only half the story. 1,000. That is 1,000 Newton meters of torque. Let's put that into perspective. That figure is absolutely unhinged for a luxury vehicle of this size. It perfectly illustrates the sheer earth-moving pulling force of this heavy machine. The second you press the throttle, those twin turbos spool up instantly, delivering this brutal, endless surge of acceleration. It gives you a level of confidence on the highway that is, frankly, shocking.
So what does all that engineering actually translate to? 4 seconds. That is exactly how long it takes this massive, towering brick of a vehicle to launch from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. We are literally talking about pure sports car territory here. And it doesn't just run out of breath. It keeps pulling all the way to a top speed of 240 kilometers per hour. It's wild to think you have the power to challenge a low-slung supercar while sitting up high with the commanding view of an SUV.
Now, of course, to back up those staggering performance numbers, you need an auditory experience that matches, right? Enter the BRABUS Sports exhaust system. It completely transforms the character of the vehicle. This is definitely not your quiet, refined luxury cruiser. At idle, you get this deep, mechanical rumble. And under heavy acceleration, well, it becomes pure theater. You get explosive crackles, pops, and these thunderous downshifts that literally turn everyday tunnels into concert halls. It's a sound profile engineered specifically to send chills right down your spine.
Let's catch our breath and move to Section 4,
The inner sanctum, handcrafted extreme luxury. The moment you step inside, the atmosphere shifts completely. The level of craftsmanship is just exceptional. Every surface you touch feels unbelievably premium. You've got this beautiful, soft leather covering practically every inch, heavily detailed with fine, bespoke stitching. There are glowing, illuminated BRABUS elements subtly reminding you just how exclusive this space is. The seats are a masterclass. They are perfectly sculpted to offer incredible long-distance comfort, but they're bolstered deeply enough to hold you tight during really aggressive driving. Toss in the flowing ambient lighting, more of that sporty carbon fiber trim, and elegant metallic accents, and the entire cabin feels brilliantly sophisticated.
And honestly, this right here is the true magic trick of the BRABUS 800. It's a masterclass in duality. On one hand, it operates as a refined luxury limousine. You're sitting in absolute comfort, effortlessly swiping through a seamless digital infotainment system with stunning clarity. But on the other hand, literally resting just beneath your right foot is a raging 800 horsepower monster. Trying to balance that level of extreme, pampering luxury with wild, untamed performance is incredibly difficult for any manufacturer to achieve, but this vehicle pulls it off effortlessly.
Which brings us to our final section, the return of a legend and its unapologetic individuality. When you look at the whole picture, the BRABUS 800 is so much more than mere transportation from point A to point B. It is a larger-than-life personality. It's this incredibly loud, bold, and yes, excessive expression of automotive individuality. Remember, it was never, ever designed to blend into traffic. It was specifically designed to dominate it. It proves that truly legendary cars aren't just defined by the specifications or numbers on a spec sheet. They are defined by the raw, unforgettable emotion they evoke when you see them, when you hear them, and when you drive them.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to really ponder today. As our roads continue to fill up with silent, highly efficient electric vehicles, does the aggressive styling, that unmistakable wide stance, and the thunderous, mechanical roar of a legendary V8 machine like the BRABUS 800 actually represent the true ultimate peak of exclusive luxury? It's a fascinating shift in the automotive landscape. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring the incredible stories behind the world's most fascinating machines.